You know, the quotes are very powerful. Why? Because they are very simple, yet they have powerful meanings, and also they easily get stick in our brain and in our mind. So when we go through tough times in life, when we go through problems, they will help us immensely. So that is why it is very important to keep in your memory some motivational and inspirational quotes, okay? So this quote from the Buddha has helped me in many times in my life, and it changed the whole perspective about how we should deal with the people in the society. How can I deal with the people in the society? So the quote goes like this. The Buddha says, Sabbang paravasang dukkhang, sabbang issariyang sukhang, sadharane vihanyanti, yogahi duratikkamo. The Buddha says, Sabbang paravasang dukkhang. All under another's control is a suffering. Sabbang issariyang sukhang. All under your control, what is under your control, is a blessing for your life. Sadharane vihanyanti. The one who expects this world to be equal to everyone and to fair to everyone, he will end up stressed. And yogahi duratikkamo. Finally he says, to escape from the bonds from this world and these expectations and attachment from this world is a very, very tough task. So this is the powerful quote that changed the perspective about the society in my life. Why? Because Buddha says, what is under others' control is a suffering. Because in life, we are so busy trying to control what is not under our control. Okay? So what are the things that are not under your control? People's reaction, people's criticism, and how people behave in front of you, how people think of you, what happens to you in the future. All these things are not under your control. The Buddha says that all that is not under your control is a suffering. So do not try to change it. Do not worry about it, because you will end up in suffer. And in the second line, the Buddha says, all that is under your control is a blessing for your life. So it is very important to know what is under your control. So what are the things that are under your control? Everything, every experience that happens to you is not under your control. You know it now. But the reaction towards every experience is under your control. Okay? People will come and trigger you to be angry. Okay? People can try to make you angry, but you have to make the choice to be angry. So that choice is under your control. You made that choice. So your thoughts, how you think, your thought pattern, your habits, right? Everything that is personal in your life is under your control. If you can do something about it, do it. Go for it and change it. Then you can find the peacefulness and happiness. So it is very important to know what is under your control and what is not. Then you can live happily in this world. So in the third line, the Buddha says, Sadharane vihanyanti. The one who chase behind the fairness and the ones who expect this world to be fair and equal will end up stressed. You see, this world is built up upon the unfairness, right? If you want to make this whole world fair and equal, right, you will not get that result, okay? So that is why if you expect that everything to be fair, you will end up stressed. That is what Buddha says. And the Buddha says, yogahi duratikkamo. It is very difficult to escape from all these attachments and bonds towards this world. Because when you get too much attached to something, you know what happens. You will end up in suffering. These quotes has helped me in my life in many times. So I think it will be helpful for yourself too. So keep these quotes in your mind and use them whenever you go through tough times in your life. How to be mentally strong and how to develop a strong mindset. Well, first of all, let's take a look at what is a strong mindset is. Now, just take a look at this Dhammapada verse from the Buddha. The Buddha said, Selo yatha ekagano vatena samirati evang ninda pasangsasu nasami janti pandita. As a rock that is unshaken by the storm, so too the wise are unshaken by the praise and the blame. Now, have you seen these big masses of rock? No matter how fast the wind blows, it is not shaken. The Buddha said, same like that rock, the wise people, they are unshaken by the praise and the blame in their life. And that is a strong mindset. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips that you can practice to build up a strong mindset. Tip number 1 is to maintain a stable mindset in ups and downs in life, right? You know, life is like an ocean. Sometimes ocean is calm and quiet and peaceful, and sometimes it is stormy, right? We face ups and downs in life. The Buddha said these are called 8 worldly conditions, attaloka dhamma. That means praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, and pleasure and pain. These are the 8 worldly conditions that we face in our life. Remember these things. So, Buddha said, accept these ups and downs in life. Whenever people criticize you, whenever people blame you, whenever you go through tough times in your life, if you can be mindful about your mind and your emotions and your feelings, and not to chase after these emotions and feelings, then you can be more stable in these situations. You can maintain a good emotional balance in these situations. So it is very important to be mindful and to practice the self-awareness in these situations. And also remember, you will not be able to always get the sweet comments and sweet opinions and sweet experiences in your life. Life will give tough times to you. Life will throw lemons at you. So you have to maintain a stable mindset whenever you go through these situations by practicing the mindfulness and the self-awareness. Remember that. Tip number 2 is to build the resilience inside the mind. You know, the resilience means the ability to stand up and bounce back when you go through the adversities and when you go through the challenging situations in your life. To practice this, one thing that you have to know and one thing that you have to understand is that what is in your control and what is not in your control. If you have a good understanding about what is in my control in my life and what is not in my control in my life, right? For an example, if people comes up to you and if they're starting to criticize you, those criticisms, those words that other people speaks about you is not under your control. But what is in your control is your reaction to them. It is always a choice. You can think about this like, should I become angry with this? Should I take this negativity? Should I share this negativity with them and be negative as them? If you can question like that, then you're not ready to take that negativity. And also, remember, having a strong mindset does not mean that you're falling down and you're feeling hurt and you're feeling down. Having a strong mindset means you can stand up as soon as possible when you go through these tough situations. You can quickly stand up and you can quickly retrieve back to the normal situations in your life. That is called the resilience. So to practice this, you have to have a good understanding about what is in your control in your life and what is not in your control. The experiences happens to you and the things that people say to you, other people's opinions, other people's thoughts about you is not under your control. But all the things that is inside your mind, your opinions about them, your reaction to those experiences, totally under your control. So if something is not under your control, you don't want to worry about it because you cannot make any change about it. But if something is under your control, definitely you can make a change about it. You can change your choice, but not others. So remember that. And also you have to cultivate a problem-solving mindset. If you're easily panicked by the problems, or if you're easily triggered by the problems, then it is not easy to solve the problems, right? But if you can maintain a calm and a peaceful mindset, even when you go through the problems or tough situations in your life, then it is very easy to go into the roots and solve the problems. Sometimes we take the problems as ourselves. Like we think, we are the anger, I am this problem, why is this happening to me? Right? Remember, everything that happens to you will be impermanent. It is not a permanent thing, right? It will be changed one day. So what do you have to do? Keep that problem aside and try to dive into the roots of that problem. Ask from yourself, why this thing happened to me, right? What is the reason for this, right? What is the real reason for this? Where did I make the mistakes? And go to that problem, go to the root, and then you can solve that problem. That is how you build up a problem-solving mindset. And finally, tip number 3, last but not least, you have to practice a mindset of self-love and self-compassion. Remember, if you're loving yourself, if you truly love yourself, you're not going to take other people's negativity with you, right? You're not ready to take other people's negativity with you. Whatever the thing that comes up to you, whatever the person comes up to you and bring their negativity with you, you say, well, I'm not going to take this negativity with me. I want to be peaceful. I want to love myself. I truly love myself. Therefore, I'm not ready to take your negativity. I'm not sharing this negativity with you. That is called self-love and self-compassion, right? To practice this, you can add up a simple practice that you can do it daily, right? When you get up early in the morning, just sit on your bed and think, no matter what happens during the day, I am going to love myself. I'm not going to take any negativity from this world, right? I'm going to empty my bin and I'm going to take a new bin to this world, right? Do you know if you've kept all the bad things and trash in your bin for a long time, what will happen? If you're in your trash bin, it will start to smell, no? But if you remove every single day all the trash in your bin and make it a clean place, then it's very easy to live. It's very easy to be peaceful within. So practice the self-compassion and self-love to build a strong mindset. Some people think that the people who are easily lose their temper, some people think that people who show their toughness and rudeness, they have this strong mindset. But no, anger and showing this negativity is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness, right? If you are easily triggered by people, if you're easily triggered by the people's reactions, then it's not a strong mindset. The strong mindset is the mindset that is not disturbed by the ups and downs in your life. So practice these simple steps, right? Build a stable mindset, make your mind a resilient one, and finally, love yourself more than any other person in this world. When you practice these steps, you can build up a mindset that is unshaken by the ups and downs in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you find the happiness in your life. Today, let's talk about how to have a better sleep and a healthy sleep. Now, sleep is something that we all struggled, and we all have struggled in all of our lives, right? And there are many people in this world who struggle with sleeping. When they wake up in the morning, they feel miserable and tired even more, okay? So there are a lot of problems with sleep. So in this video, I am going to share with you 3 tips that we monks practice in order to have a better sleep. All right? This is in our daily routine. So, without any further ado, let's dive into the video. Tip number 1. The first thing that you have to do is to wind down for your bed. Okay? That means sleep is something that we have to approach gradually and peacefully. It's like you're getting ready for an occasion, right? Now, for an occasion, maybe an interview or a meeting, what do? You get ready, right? You get your clothes done, you get your documents done, and you get ready for it. Same like that, sleep is an important occasion in our day. So what we have to do, we have to get ready for it. Okay? So how can we get ready? So here are a few things that you can practice to wind down for your bed. The first thing that you have to do, this is not a problem because we don't have our dinner. We only have 2 meals per day, right? Some monks have 1 meal per day. Normally we have 2 meals per day, that is breakfast and lunch. We don't have the dinner, okay? So have a light meal for your dinner and eat at least 4 to 3 hours before the bed, before your sleep time. Now when you do this, your digestion is over and it is finished and it is at rest. Now you can go to the bed peacefully and drink enough water before you go to bed, okay? And also, this is something that many people do, right? Do not bring your mobile phone or laptop or any device that you're using to the bed, right? There are many people who use, right? There are thousands of people who use their mobile phone on their bed before sleep, okay? AM or 2 AM in the night, in the morning. Don't do that. So what do you have to do? Avoid as much as possible this screen time, blue light screen and everything, avoid them, okay? Because these screens and these lights stimulates our brain, okay? If you can be relaxed and listen to, so you have to wind down before sleep. And another thing that you can do is to you cannot have a cold shower, then have a lukewarm water shower, okay? Cleaning your body will help you to wind down and make your body feel relaxed, okay? Then even your mind feel peaceful, okay? So this is how we wind down for our bed. Tip number 2 is to practice the gratitude, right? Now we monks, when we go to the bed, right, we just sit on the bed and we close our eyes and think the people, and we recall all the people who have helped in our life. Right? They may be your parents, they may be your relatives, your husband, your wife, your children, or there are certain things that we feel grateful for. So what do you have to do? Be grateful for them, right? Simply say thank you for all of them, right? Remember and recall all the people who have helped you in your way, in your life journey, and be thankful for them in your mind. That is something that we can do, because gratitude is a powerful emotion. If you generate it, you feel the happiness within your mind, and it will help you to have a peaceful sleep. So tip number 2 is to practice gratitude. And finally, as tip number 3, what you have to do is to recall a good deed that you have done earlier. This is something that I personally do every day before I'm going to bed. I recall all the good deeds that I have done during the day, good things that I have done during the day, and also I recall the good things that I have done in the past. Okay? So it is always good to keep one good deed or few good deeds in your mind. I personally have 2 good deeds in my life. Among every other good deed, these 2 good deeds help me a lot to feel much more happy. They may be not big things, but you feel so much happy when you think that you have done it. Okay? It can be a little act of kindness, right? It can be giving some little food to an animal or a person that makes you feel happy. Before every time you go to bed, what you have to do is to recall all the good deeds, good things that you have done in the past. Now, when you do this, you will feel a very positive self-esteem in your mind, right? You feel that your life is worthy and you have done good deeds, right? You're a good person. Because there are many people, they go to bed regretting about their life, okay? Remember, no matter how hard or tough your life becomes, there is always positive things in your life. There are always good things that you have done in your life. The only thing that we have to do is to recall them, right? The more we remember the good things that we have done, the more we become happy. That is one result of doing good things. So these are the few things that we can do to practice to have a better and a healthy sleep. So as a summary, what you have to do is, first thing, wind down, relax your mind before you go to bed. Number 2, practice gratitude. And finally, number 3, recall the good things that you have done in your day and in your life. If you do these things and if you practice these things, I can assure that you will have a peaceful and a healthy and a better sleep. So practice these things and have a peaceful night. One of the things that many people misunderstand about Buddhism is, I've heard this a lot, they say that Buddhism is negative. Buddhism is very pessimistic. It speaks about death and dying and sickness and crying. Why Buddha speaks about negative stuff? Can't we have something joyful and happy about this life? Well, from this video, we're going to talk about, is Buddhism really negative? So here's the reason why a person might come to a conclusion that the Buddha's teachings are quite pessimistic and it is negative. It is because of the first noble truth. Now, what is the first noble truth? It is dukkha in Pali language, which is literally translated as suffering or stress. Now, these words have deeper meanings. When Buddha speaks about dukkha, Buddha means about deep things about life. But when you look at this word, suffering or stress or dukkha, one might come to a conclusion that, oh, Buddha speaks about suffering, right? Buddha says that life is suffering. But when you look at the life, there are things that we can be happy about life. And also there are moments that we have a lot of joyfulness in our life. So why Buddha speaks about negative stuff? And also the Buddha explains in his first sermon about the first noble truth, the dukkha, as like this. Now, when someone look at this explanation, they might come to a conclusion, oh, life is stressful. So that is the reason for so many people to say that Buddha speaks about negative stuff. But if you really understand about what Buddha meant by this, you will find that Buddhism is not negative or pessimistic. It is more realistic. Okay? So why Buddha speaks about this? It is because this is the common truth that we all share in all living beings. No matter what level of life that we have, we all share these things, these truths in our life. That is a common truth. So Buddha saw this, and that is why Buddha speaks about this. So yes, it seems to be pretty miserable, right? But wait until you hear the second noble truth. What is the second noble truth? It is called the samudaya, the origin of suffering. Now Buddha says there's a reason why we suffer. What is the origin of this suffering? Now Buddha explains that the reason why we suffer is because of tanha. Tanha means craving, literally translated as craving. But there is more to this word, okay? So why we suffer is because we have this craving and attachment towards things, okay? Towards things, people, and to ourselves as well. So, and it gets better when you hear the third noble truth. The Buddha says that you can end the suffering. The third noble truth is called nirodha, the cessation. Now the Buddha says that you can end the suffering by letting go of the cause of the suffering. Right? I'll repeat it again. You can end the suffering when you let go of the cause of the suffering. Right? So it is pretty obvious, right? Pretty realistic. Let's understand about it like this. Suppose you have an unwanted plant in your garden. Now what you want to do, you want to remove this. So how are you going to remove this? Let's say a person goes and cut it from the stem, cut down that plant from the stem. Did you permanently remove it? No, it grows back. No matter how many times you cut this plant from the stem, it will grow back. But if you really need to remove the plant, what you have to do is you have to go into roots, dig the plant, and then remove the roots, and then it will never grow back, right? Same like that, if you remove the root of suffering, if you remove the cause of suffering, then you will end the suffering. Not only the Buddha says that you can end the suffering, but also Buddha introduce you to a path where you can end the suffering. And that is the fourth noble truth. It is called the Magga, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, Noble Eightfold Path is a moral and ethical and psychological and more practical path that leads to the cessation or end of the suffering. So basically, the Buddha is like a doctor, okay? So what a doctor might do? He might come to a patient and says, hey, listen, let's be honest that you have this disease. You have to be honest. I know it is painful. I know it is very negative and pessimistic to talk about this, but let's be honest. If you need to cure this disease, you need to focus on it. Okay, we have to talk about it. We have to find a way out of it. So the doctor says that there is a disease. He will be honest with you, and he says, and he comes with the good news, and that is that you can cure this disease. Okay, we can cure this disease, and I will show you how to cure this disease. And also the doctor will say that take these pills and take these medicines to end your disease or to cure your disease. And same like that, Buddha identifies your disease, and he talks about that disease, and also Buddha identified what causes this disease, and also the Buddha comes up with the positive, more happy news that you can end this suffering, okay? And also Buddha comes up with a way to end this suffering. So if you look at it in that way, Buddhism is not pessimistic. It is not negative. It is more realistic because Buddha talks about the truth in this life. What is the truth? It is the first noble truth. That is the suffering. Suffering is the only thing that we all share commonly in this world. No matter what level in this life that we are in, we all suffer. Okay? Wealthy people, no matter how much rich you are, no matter how much poor we are, we all suffer and we all share these sufferings. What is that? Suffering of sickness, suffering of death, suffering of diseases, suffering of aging, suffering of despair, lamentation, crying. This is something that is very common to all of us. And talking about it and thinking about it might not be a negative thing, because most of the time what we are doing is we are running away from this truth. We don't like to talk about it. We always like to forget about it. And also we have found many creative things to forget the suffering, not to end the suffering. Okay? We think that we end the suffering, but it grows back. It comes back. Same like you're removing a plant from a stem. So what Buddha does is, what Buddha shows you is a path to go into the root of this problem and remove the root, remove the origin, remove the cause to end the suffering. So remember that Buddhism is not negative and it is not pessimistic. It is more realistic and it is more practical. So I hope you got some idea about what Buddha teaches you. So that is all for this video, and see you in the next video. Namo Buddhaya.